You're listening to From a Certain Point Askew, the only Star Wars podcast that Lucasfilm has given exclusive authorization to cover Filoni. Kenobi. I am Jason the Ginger Jedi Guy, broadcasting live from inside Wookiee Poo Studios. I'm not alone. Please allow me to introduce your favorite Wretched Scum, Scoundrels, and I'll be the smuggler. First up, neighbor Cole from Corellia.
I mean, that is not fair. Why do you get to be the smuggler? I'm from Corellia. I feel like I should be the smuggler.
Well, he's a scoundrel, too, so it's half and half. Yeah. You know,
but we both are in agreement.
The white collar and the blue collar of Corellia.
You pointed to him on Scums.
No, I think he pointed to you, Matt.
Oh, I don't know about that.
How about we do a 2/3 vote right now, Matt? Give me the scum. How about that? Yeah, scum. We got it.
1, 2, 3, not it, not on the nose.
Thank you for being hospitable as always, Jason. Thank you for having me down here in Wookiee Poo Studios. Yet to get our little Wookiee Poo / Monkey Poo in service,
revolving
out of service
logo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'll get it.
We'll work on it. I'll just draw something up for you in crayon. How's that?
Take it out of a coloring book.
I'm a bit of an artiste, if you don't know.
All right.
But we are not alone in the studio. Well, we are alone in the studio. We have a cat as well, but we also have a third micer coming in hot from the hyperspace lanes. His beautiful...
He took a break from writing spreadsheets to play Star Wars with us.
But doesn't stop his interrupting game. He comes in way too early every single time, but that's what we love about him. That's what we appreciate about him.
Next week, we're going to do the intro, and then we'll accept the Skype call.
It's the only way to keep him quiet.
You don't even know what's said until he's editing.
Yeah,
I'll work it in. I'll edit it myself.
Put yourself in there.
Yeah. Just pregnant pause, puts himself in.
Yeah.
He finds one. But that beautiful voice you just heard is Darth Matthews, our friendly neighborhood Matt.
Hello. First, I wanted to thank the Ithorian historian from last week. It was a really fun chat we had with him. He's a hilarious guy, and we got as much information as we want about Ithorians. I think it was fun to listen back.
It was a fun chat for sure.
And more importantly, his being on the show, it was able to seal the alliance between ourselves and Mike Laybourne. So he now hates Mike Laybourne as well.
That's right.
We're spreading the hate.
Well, and I realized I also forgot last week to thank Chris Meyer for coming on. So thanks 2 episodes ago for Chris Meyer for coming on. That was a lot of fun having him on to talk prequels and sequels and all that kind of stuff. So it's been fun having some guests on. We'll have some more in the future, but I just want to call that out. And another quick programming note. We are going to go to an every other week schedule here for just until Kenobi starts, just maybe to help prevent Jay from having a heart attack.
It's true.
So we'll have an episode next week, and then we're going to go every other week for a little bit. So we'll do some other stuff, maybe have a fun interview mixed in there, and then we'll get back into our weekly schedule when Kenobi comes out. And you don't want to miss the Kenobi preview that we're going to do a week or 2 before, because that's going to include the lovely Darth Flamingus, and he will be giving all the details away about what our next giveaway is.
I was going to say, one of our giveaways, because I've been itching to read the Darth Vader comics, that there's some stuff that ties into where we're picking up with Kenobi. I thought maybe if I got those, if you wanted to read them, or I could, illegally snap pictures so you could read it too, but then we can give those away during the Kenobi season as well.
That'd be
great. I don't need to keep them. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm all for giveaways.
Yeah.
All right.
Come here to accept our gently used Darth Vader comics.
Right. If the pages stick, it was one of us.
Probably not Matt.
Just a reminder, you can find us at from a certain point askew.com, and we're on Twitter at FACPApod. And you can also email the show FACPApod@gmail.com.
On the show today, we got a quick one here. We've got a question of the week. There is another news, casting updates, season 2 of Kenobi. And then we're going to cover the Kenobi trailer in depth.
Fucking A.
Both what the trailer is and what we accept the trailer as.
And what it is not.
Yes. First up, I guess we'll get into this crazy question of the week.
Yeah, and you're going to have to question / explain this to both Matt and myself, because we have no fucking idea what you're asking.
You're just going to have to read what I've read and take it as that.
That's it. You're not. You're not.
I've got as much knowledge as that's on this page right here.
You're in no position to explain yourself.
Right.
You didn't write this?
Well, I wrote it, but I didn't write the book that it's based off of.
But you refused to explain it. Only thing I know. He's like, only thing I know. Let me reference the book that I've already read.
I've not read it.
What's written on this page?
I don't think the book's out yet.
Right.
Doesn't it come out next month, I think? Well, so I put a note in there to say, spoiler alert for A Queen's Hope. That's what the book's called, right? And then I read your shit, and I was like, this is horse shit. But we'll
You think so?
I don't know. Some of it sounds a little bit confusing. Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
It was on the interweb, so I had to be real.
Okay.
I defer to you, third mic.
In the final pages of the new book, A Queen's Hope, it's teased that Padme actually survives after giving birth.
Dun, dun, dun.
Fuck. This startling revelation changes what we've known from a certain point of view. It was actually Kenobi's plan to hide her and the children after birth. This is something he couldn't do alone, though. He was aided with help from Senator Organa and Yoda to do this. That's not the bombshell. The bombshell is this. They each agreed to take a child and hide them so that the Jedi had a chance to live on. Kenobi with Luke, Senator Organa with Leia, Yoda with the child. Now, is that supposed to say Grogu? Because it says Grogo.
Yeah, and I added that part because I was like, well, Yoda's responsible for that one, right? I don't know.
Right. This is the part I was a little bit confused by.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you make it sound. This makes it sound like she gave birth to triplets, and one of them being baby Yoda.
Grogu.
No. Well, that's the
Grogo.
yes, Grogo.
It's Grogu's twin brother.
They had to change his name so no one could find him.
This is Brogru.
His papers were changed on the planet.
When he goes to college, he'll become a bro. Like he'll join a fraternity.
There you go.
He's Brogu.
Yeah. He's got to grow into it.
Yeah.
And it's revealed that Padme is a mother to a nameless child who's playing with a young Leia while Senator Organa pays a visit. These two kids are described to be the same age, and Padme alludes to the fact that she's thankful to him and Obi-Wan for saving her and her child and keeping them safe. What? She had triplets? Who is this child?
Boom.
So the first thing I focused on is that it was actually Kenobi's plan to hide her and the children after birth. So I thought...
And the afterbirth?
After tradition, don't they usually eat the placenta?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Depends on what planet you're on. There's laws.
Some places you eat the placenta.
Yeah.
Well, we could go back to...
Sometimes you save it, and if you need some...
That explains why you've got in the box in Obi-Wan's little hut on Tatooine.
You know what's in there, yeah.
Well, he's got the cord blood. Yeah, he's got the umbilical cord, remember?
Yep.
Full circle callback. And that just came to me right on the spot.
I read this. Oh, no.
Jason about wore that coffee.
Oh, man.
You know, I've been reading the Aftermath trilogy. There is an Afterbirth trilogy as well. Now, so I read this and I was like, what were you doing when you thought this up, Jay? Because I couldn't figure out how much of this was real and how much you made up. So is there a basis in truth here from what you found, or is this all pulled from the internet and this is not you at all?
This is not me.
At all?
No, this is just info. Like I know people. I hear things, so I started putting some things together, and I thought I'd bring it to you.
There's lots of facets going here, man.
Question of the week.
Lots of fucking ins and outs. You know.
You know why would I give up?
She fucking kidnapped herself, dude.
Let's say I wrote this. Why would I tell you now when there's discussion points to be here? We've not yet answered the question of the week.
Okay. Well, first of all, how did she survive? She died of a broken heart, Jay.
Yeah,
a broken heart.
You know what? Of course, Kenobi's going to be like she died. You know, he was there. We didn't see her die.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Who was in that coffin? It wasn't her. She had 19 fucking body doubles in the first movie.
She's known for putting a lot of the body doubles.
Yeah. All she had to do was walk up to one of them and just fucking shank it.
Right.
You're dying for me. Sorry.
You know. Yeah. Commitment.
I knew it was you.
Why did they not have me writing these books? I mean, whoever made this up.
I'm sure that you could work your way in there. Submit some samples.
Come on, this is an opening to a great story. Tell me it's not.
Send it to Pendant. See what they say.
So is your argument here that she still lives on somewhere, Padme? Yes. We don't know where. And she had one of the children.
There is another.
I got it. Mace Windu and her, they did a little elope. They eloped.
So she had like 2 eggs, and she got pregnant by Mace and Anakin at the same time.
And Mace Windu's all fucked up from the lightning strike, and that morphed his fucking sperm. So when he fucked her, they got Baby Yoda, Grogu. That's what
that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Altered his DNA. That's
mutant DNA.
The lightning strike. Force lightning will do that.
That's how they're all born.
Wouldn't it just be more obvious that she had sex with Yoda?
She could have been.
I mean, she was always giving her body up in the Clone Wars, so
that's true.
Yeah. Oh man,
Anakin was always mad.
Oh, always mad. She didn't do anything. Mad. Fucking.
But like, go back to was it Empire Strikes Back, right? Where he says it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's Yoda talking to Kenobi, right? And it's Yoda that says, "No, there is another," right?
I just got this vision in my head of Yoda saying there is another and doing the Leo DiCaprio because he's the one that sex her.
Okay, let's create the meme for the show. Come on, we can do it. That'd be great.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
You better get your outline ready.
I have it audio right now.
You had a general outline.
Yep. This is what I'm writing after Winky and the Wookiee.
This is why he wants us to keep talking, because he's going to get all this in the book later. I need ideas, guys.
This is basically welcome. You've turned into our brainstorming session.
This is
an audio copyright by Angry Ginger. Anything said here stays with me.
Oh man.
So let's say she has a triplet. Would that anger you? A triplet. If we found out, like, all of a sudden they go back and from a certain point of view they show us and she's alive or lived and had a triplet. Now, is this triplet good or bad? Would that be like, is this as bad or better than cloned Palpatine?
I get the sense that, like, I don't know, if there was a triplet, it would have been like maybe like a twins scenario. It would be the deformed runt of the litter, maybe like
like the sequel to Twins that they're making where Tracy Morgan plays the other one?
A little slow, maybe a little deformed, maybe like a hunchback or something, rolling around.
Brian Fellows, the Jedi!
Just like the outcast, the older brother and the older sister just kind of constantly pick on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought of immediately.
Because Luke and Leia are, like, good and beautiful and all that, so this one's got to be the opposite of all those things?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Danny DeVito plays him.
Yeah.
He's back.
He's back. Don't call it a comeback. He never left.
That would be quite a story. All this time, Padme's been living with the child by herself.
I think that's a fucking M. Night Shyamalan twist if you've ever had one.
Mm-hmm.
What if what if the baby's inside R2? Yeah. He's the man inside the machine. That's the third kid.
Kind of like L3 is in the Millennium Falcon.
Or like Men in Black.
Like the baby died years ago, but R2 just like absorbed.
No, he's thinking the baby's alive and just sitting there. Apparently, it doesn't grow though, because you got to stay inside.
Okay.
There.
So he's working it like a mech.
He's a stunted fetus, and that's the only way he can survive. And R2 is actually a Bacta tank.
It's about that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Yeah.
See?
Why are we not? We need to write from a certain point of skew.
Yeah, we need to do
book.
something. It's called Move On.
Okay.
Speaking of that, yeah. So news. So a couple of casting updates, just really quickly. There's a rumor. I don't think it's been confirmed that Mando season 3 will include Jim O'Hare in an undisclosed role. Do you know who he is?
I do not.
Did you watch Parks and Rec?
Yes. Well, enough to know who the characters are.
He's Jerry, the guy that they always like shit on. He was married to Christy Brinkley. He was just one of the guys in the office. Apparently, he's going to play some role. Look him up, Jim O'Hare.
Maybe he's Horatio Sands' dad.
Oh,
yeah.
So he's one of those, whatever they are. I can't remember those.
He's the rich father to the. Was he like a troglodyte or what's this, a methane?
I don't know.
Something.
I can't remember what that character is off the top of my head.
Troglodyte. Where did you get that from?
I don't know. That's a real thing somewhere.
But there's that, and then the other one was that Andor is going to include Fiona Shaw as a pilot, and she's been in a number of things, but the one that I recognize her from is she is Dudley Dursley's mom in Harry Potter.
What's her name? Fiona Shaw?
Fiona Shaw.
Who the hell is Dudley Like the
that
nephew?
The shithead brother of Harry Potter.
The nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
okay.
cousin,
yeah. She was. I know her originally from the English lady that stalks the 3 Men and a Baby. It was 3 Men and a Lady.
It's 3 Men and a Little Lady, right?
She's in that, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep. That's where I first recognized her from. But she's also, I think she's in The Killing right now with Sandra Oh and what's her face, who's Palpatine's son's daughter.
She's in Super Mario Brothers, the original film.
Is she really?
John Leguizamo.
Uh-huh.
Daisy Ridley's in that? You said Palpatine's son's daughter.
No. I forget her name. Jodie Comer. Jodie Comer from, she's in Free Game and she's in The Killing. She was.
We're fucking on it today.
We're a flashback scene where they show Rey's parents. She was the mom.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So she's the daughter-in-law of Palpatine. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. They haven't seen each other since long Christmases ago.
You said son's daughter, so I had to go with it. That's it for casting. Just a couple quick notes there. And then, so season 2 of Kenobi, we're going to get into the trailer here in a second, but you had shared a tweet, Jay, that was a quote from Kathleen Kennedy talking about the possibility of a season 2. And she said, quote, "It's certainly something we talk about mainly because everybody came together and had such an incredible time. Ewan had an incredible time. Hayden had an incredible time. So certainly from that point of view, everybody involved would love to see this not end." Now the quote goes on. She says, "But we have to really spend our time asking the question, why would we do it? If we were to decide to do anything more with the Obi-Wan character, we'd have to really answer the question, why?"
Yeah. And it really, because if this is actually going to take him off Tatooine, which we're all hoping it does, right? What's going to, once again, make him leave the planet?
Right.
You know?
Well, and the other thing she was trying to get across the point was that this is really the whole thing from the beginning was meant to be an enclosed story. So there's a beginning, middle, and end. So there's there's not a plan to leave it hanging for something else. But they could, of course, work that in. I'm sure. But given what I saw in the trailer, which we can get into now, looked amazing. I thought that it looked so cinematic compared to what we just saw in the other couple series that we've had, especially Book of Boba. It looked like a movie.
It's almost not fair.
Let me ask you this. Did this Kenobi series need to be made for Obi-Wan's legacy as the baddest Jedi ever? Right? So what we have from him now from the Clone Wars between, episode 4, his Force Ghost bullshit, episode 1, 2, and 3, all of his exploits, do you think that this is going to cement his legacy, or is it going to just be a little bit more of the mundane, I'm going from Obi-Wan down to Ben into the guy who gets killed by Darth Vader on the Death Star?
He gets what? Just kidding.
You made me jump for a second. I was like,
spoiler alert.
What did I say?
I don't think it would cement him as the baddest Jedi. I think you get a lot of that in what we saw in Clone Wars and all that kind of thing. But I think it's more meant to, obviously tell the tale of how he goes from a guy who's just been through some of the worst trauma in the world over the course of the Clone Wars and all that happened with Order 66 to trying to kind of leave the world with something that he did that was good, that left behind, protecting Luke and allowing that to go on and continue, I think is a way for him to be at peace when he dies.
I saw
it leads into that.
A little fan theory not a fan theory, but more of a speculation that when Vader or Anakin turns to Vader and he has to he thinks what he does is kill him, but he knows he kind of doesn't. When he has to do that, Obi-Wan turns into Ben, which was the farmer on Tatooine who he got crushed, all of his dreams and hopes and his love for Anakin and that ultimate friendship and brotherly love that those two had together. That destroyed the Obi-Wan that was, and now all you have left is Ben Kenobi, this old hermit that lives out in the Gungan Waste of Tatooine. I say Gungan Waste?
Junland Wastes.
If they follow the themes of the Jedi, it tends to be the same happened to Luke, right? He was kind of broken and lost.
Were you fucking with me?
No, it's called the Junland Wastes, but it just made me think of what the Gungan Waste would look like. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Jay, you were saying.
A lot of leaves that they wipe with in the Gungan Waste.
That's just, to me, it makes sense for him to kind of go down that same path, which Luke seems to replicate, right? Puts himself into exile.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely parallels there. And there's just a huge chunk of time. There's a lot to play with.
Well, and I think really what this is going to do is, if they do things right, and it certainly looks like they're putting a lot in here, there's going to be a lot of seeds they're going to be able to plant and play with later, right? So this is going to stuff that happens in this Kenobi is stories they can pull from for years, right? And it seems to be what they're doing with all of this stuff so far, is just kind of making they're expanding the universe, so to speak.
Yeah, and there was a question that was asked, I think, of Kennedy as well about crossover and all that kind of stuff. And she was saying well, this all takes place roughly in the Mandalorian timeline, but really they said that their show is really tied more to the prequels, which makes a lot more sense. Yeah. I don't think it's not like we're going to see the Mandalorian show up or anything, but you could see, especially with flashbacks, Ahsoka and a lot of other things in this series. So we'll see how that goes. They really seem to not necessarily like the Book of Boba Fett said, but this seems to be from the first episode, maybe the first 2 episodes, because we're not seeing any Darth. So I think it's just showing kind of the setup of here's where he is and how down on his luck he is, and then here's how he starts to get kicked into action and the Inquisitors chasing after him. So
one thing we know for sure, we will not see Luke or Grogu in Book of Boba Fett. We know that.
Well, we've already in the Book of Boba Fett.
Just going back to our speculations last time, how so correct we were. I can guarantee you.
It was interesting because going back to Wednesday when this dropped, we had heard these rumors that the trailer was going to drop on Wednesday the 9th. So we're like, oh, okay, but really, is it going to, how many times have we heard this? Disney Plus Day, Super Bowl, et cetera. And so then the Entertainment Weekly stuff drops. We're like, oh, well, maybe that's what it is. In fact, we had a conversation in our DM. We're like, well, yeah, the trailer's not happening. This is what Because again, we just right on it.
Disney marketing 101, where we don't put it all out at once.
We should try to
Bullshit.
start like reverse psychology in Disney. You know,
Yeah.
tell them what we don't think is going to happen because they just go the other way every single time.
Right? Yeah, they listen to the show. I'm like, we'll show them because they showed. They're fucking must have been our DMs.
Because we definitely don't want the Bad Batch to drop between.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
right?
don't
guys?
do it. Don't
We're
put
sick
the
of
Bad
it.
Batch out.
Mm-hmm.
We're sick of Bad Batch. We hate it.
But yeah, we saw they dropped those pictures, and the pictures are sweet. You know, like you kind of see this haggard-looking Kenobi, and he has a quote that he said, "We find Obi-Wan at the beginning of our story rather broken and faithless and beaten, somewhat given up." And we see the shot of him in that cave, like his bachelor pad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty
All these guys
barren.
like a mattress and a blanket
Yeah,
and a pillow.
exactly.
That's it.
And then you see the new Inquisitor Reva. Or Reva, I don't know if it's how it's pronounced, probably Reva. And you see Uncle Owen, you see him on his Eopie, that thing that he was riding when he dropped off Luke back in Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
You get all these shots of, I mean, the funny thing is that the first shot I think that they showed of him, his beard's a little unkempt. He looks like he's got like a mustard stain on his shirt and like wearing sweatpants. I mean, he looks like he's really hit hard times here.
Aunt Veru heading up to Costco. You guys need anything? No? All right.
Chicken wings? Chicken wings? No?
$5 chicken.
And then later, I think it was maybe yesterday or I don't know,
It was a day after.
they released a shot of Vader.
Yeah.
That looks pretty fucking badass. He looks pretty awesome. So I'm excited for all of that. But anyway, kudos to Deborah Chow because this looks amazing. I was fucking buzzing when I saw it drop. Like, I'm trying to think what happened. I think I flipped over and just saw that like official trailer thing on Twitter. I was like, wait a minute. I did text you guys or DM'd you guys right away. I'm like, it's here. The trailer's here. What were your overall thoughts?
First and foremost, just I posted a little shout out on Twitter. The fucking score to this thing.
Yes.
Like, dude, like it took me out of it.
Chills the second.
Took me like
Duel of Fate started
me, like,
playing.
boom! I'm like, oh shit, man, it's back. Like the music really hit hard for me, and like instantly goosebumps. Instantly, like your observation, Matt, which brings it home for me as well. The fucking cinematic.
Yeah.
This doesn't look shitty. This doesn't look like it's not shot correctly. I'm hoping that this is gonna redeem Book of Boba for me, I guess. You know, it looks fucking amazing. And I don't know what they did. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's so much darker and smoother. Just you could tell that they really put a lot into this. So I've got very, very high hopes for this series.
Yeah, it does look like, you know, the desert shots you see on Tatooine, which we just saw in Book of Boba, but the shots they show in this trailer just looks, like you said, just looks different.
Well, it's lit differently. The foreground and the background, and it looks busier.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. So getting into it, so yeah, they show Obi-Wan on his Eopie crossing the desert, and we get that dialogue. Who's he talking to? Is he talking to Qui-Gon?
Yep.
Is that who you think?
You think so?
Well, yeah, because he says the fight is done, we lost, and then he finishes with
Stay hidden.
stay hidden, right? But I think that sounds like it's coming from somewhere else because the
Pulled
cadence
quick.
sounds a little
Yeah,
differently.
it's quick.
Yeah, but the initial, like, who's he going to say that to? Like, why is he going to say, you know, the fight is done, we lost? I think he's telling Qui-Gon how he feels, right? And that shot where it shows him from behind sitting there on the cliff, and then we see him look at Luke, I think Qui-Gon is sitting next to him, and they just took it out. I think that's like a Marvel thing they did where they, we won't fill that CGI in right there.
Interesting, because there's something on the ground next to him,
Yep.
and I couldn't tell if that's something in the background that just happens to be barely rising up above the ground, or if there's actually something sitting there. That's the stand-in for Qui-Gon. They left that in. Oops.
Do you guys think there'll be a lot of interaction between Uncle Owen and Obi-Wan?
Good
It's
question.
just going to have to be because at some point Owen, like, you know, hands him his fucking ass. He doesn't like him for like the danger that he brings Luke.
You get that tension in episode 4 when he's like, he's just some crazy old, what does he say something about him? He's like some crazy old man out in the
Gungan waste.
Gungan wastes. It's going to be Gungan waste from now on. I can't remember anything else. So you get there's a bit of either a falling out or, you know, maybe like when Luke was an infant, he was kind of Uncle Ben, you know, like but Luke never knows it type of a deal, type of a vibe. And then he's like, I think it'd be best if you didn't come around anymore. Or, you know what I mean? One of those like child or dad going to visit his kid on
Well, I mean, right now it looks like he's not come around Luke. Like if he's given well,
we see
a
him,
bird's eye view.
But Luke is old enough to remember at that point. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. No, I don't think they've had the argument yet. I think because of these events and whatever happens, they're coming to Tatooine looking for either, because we've heard rumors there's another Jedi or sympathizer or something that comes to the planet looking for him, right? And that brings the Inquisitors there, and they're doing their shit to try to bring the Jedi out, right? They're like the whole speech with the Inquisitor where he says, they can't help but be who they are.
Yeah, they leave a trail of compassion.
Right. So if they're over there hanging people in the streets and doing all this shit, and there is a Jedi there, then the Jedi obviously is going to fucking stand up for them.
Do you guys think Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru are getting state assistance for adopting a kid? They think they got a WIC program out there on Tatooine?
I think they do. Yeah.
Certainly tax credits.
Mm-hmm. It's EOP milk instead of, you can't use your EBT card at Tashi Station like you'd want to.
I think he's likely talking to Qui-Gon when he says that. They love to throw misdirection at you with these trailers. So there's always a chance that he's talking to that other Jedi or somebody he meets later and explaining to them what happened. So that could be it as well. But we certainly expect that he's going to commune with Qui-Gon in some way at some point. So it makes sense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's funny because in the beginning they show him and he's doing like some sort of masonry or carpentry or something. He's like, laying low and he's got to have a job, got to find a way to survive. And they show him on that like bus to the city. I think that's Anchorhead. What do you think that is? I think that might be Anchorhead.
Well, that could be. Yeah. Because it does look different. I put down Mos Eisley just because I was trying to think, what town would he be in? But
and I think Anchorhead's the one that's closer to like the Lars estate, if you will.
Their farm.
Yeah, the farm, because and I think that's why you're going to see some sort of like kind of nods as far as Ben and Owen seeing each other, because I think Owen's in that same town. Like I think all that stuff is happening in Anchorhead. That's just my guess based on what we've seen from those shots.
Yeah, we never really established where the original moisture farm was at on Tatooine, right? We knew it was just on Tatooine.
There's some maps that people have made that kind of like gauge where it is, and they think it's close. Allegedly, Lars' place is like just south of Anchorhead, and Tashi Station is on the outskirts of Anchorhead, for what it's worth. You're better with maps than timelines, right, Cole?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But that whole little build-up with him doing the voiceover, and then, like you said, fucking smashes you in the face with the Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
And then we get that great shot of that sweet-looking Inquisitor ship flying into Fortress Inquisitorius. That's the Latin name of it.
I wrote down the Inquisitorium.
I like that better. That is from Jedi Fallen Order. So again, you guys need to play that video game or at least watch a walkthrough, because there's some ties into that. It's out in the middle of the water, and then a lot of it's underwater.
There's a couple of shots that I saw, because I think it's in one of the comics as well. I've seen a couple of images, and there's a shot where there's a planet and another planet behind it, and it's Mustafar. So they're not too far from Vader.
Oh, okay. Well, and that's where they're supposed to be getting trained, essentially, the Inquisitors. It makes you wonder too, for me, like just from the video game standpoint, if we might see Cal Kestis at some point, the guy who's the protagonist in that video game, because I think he's there like maybe 5-ish years before that. He's at that place. So I wonder if somehow they're going to tie that in a way. I'm not sure.
This is the one part that kind of lost me and I was worried when they announced that Rupert Friend was going to be playing the Grand Inquisitor. He just it's a small complaint. I'm sure he'll do fine, but he doesn't have like that evil look, and he doesn't have that gravitas, that voice that Jason Isaacs brought. So other than that, like that's my one little gripe. But
it's funny because I haven't seen anybody talking about their thoughts on the Inquisitor on Twitter at all.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding. It's like all anybody's talking about.
They don't look like they did in the show.
Yeah.
Everybody's pissed off. They're like, he's too fat or whatever. Like he doesn't have the long head. His head is round. Right. Everybody's all upset about it. I'm with you on the sense it's the voice for me. Like Jason Isaacs' voice is that Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, why didn't you get Jason Isaacs? Because it would have been so perfect. Maybe he's too old or something. I don't know what they're considering there.
Throw some makeup on, he'll be fine.
But I mean, a lot of people complaining about the look of him. I'm not as concerned about the look of him. I mean, he does kind of look like Pinhead from...
right, yes.
What's that movie?
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser, yes. That's what he kind of looks like.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you're saying.
But I'm not that worried about that. For me, it was more the voice because that voice was just it was so menacing. In the animation. So I was a little bummed about that.
But then that's when we hear he's interrogating someone inside the Inquisitorium. And I can't tell who it is or what it is because it's like the back of their head, and you're really just getting the shot of the Grand Inquisitor. And he says the key to hunting Jedi is patience, which is now this is where we start getting the tease of how they, kind of lure the surviving Jedi out as they go across the landscape of the outer planets, right?
Yes. And that's when we get the shot of Reva, who's played by Moses Ingram. She looks fucking badass. I'm real excited about her character.
What have I seen her in?
She was in The Queen's Gambit. I've not seen that. That's that chess.
Oh yeah, she was the sister. They were in a foster care home, and I think she was her sister.
She tried to stab her at one time or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Later on in the episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She looks fucking great.
She does,
and I think it seems like she's going to be the main bad, other than until we get the Inquisitor will obviously be in the Vader, of course.
From what I was reading, it's she's like kind of like the new one sent out. I don't know if she's an Inquisitor yet, but maybe like one in training, and they don't seem to agree with her or think that Kenobi is alive.
So she's okay.
So she kind of stumbles across or whatever, and then as it progresses, that's why these other ones start coming in because like, oh shit, maybe she is onto something.
Maybe she's the one who finds that little Jedi logo etching that they show later where that person's hand goes over it, because that seems like that's something that might be one of the clues they pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's new, like we haven't seen her in Rebels or Clone Wars or anything, right? She's new for the series.
She's new, and so is that one shot with the Inquisitor where they're in the Inquisitorium. There's one on the left that has like, I don't know, something on the back of their head or whatever. Unless it's like it looks like her. Doesn't have her helmet on. It's probably a new person.
Yeah, I thought it could have been the Seventh Sister without her helmet on, but I don't think it is. I think it's somebody else. But we have Paul Revere's there, so he's in play, which is fun.
Yep.
And we knew he was going to
brother.
Yeah, we knew he was going to be in that, and so it's cool to see all those. And that shot they show of those three talking in that room, you can see outside the window. It's underwater, so that's at the Inquisitorium.
Yep.
Inquisitorium Emporium.
So then we see you mentioned the guy hanging. Just showing people hanging a lot these days in Star Wars series. Uncle Owen's got that sheepish look on his face, like, go, I'm going to try to lay low here. Mm-hmm. But clearly she's trying to draw somebody out.
Well, and they don't show the shot, but the shot that's in EW, they're face to face.
Face to face, yeah.
She goes right up to him, so it's kind of interesting. Like, where's this going to go?
Yeah.
And some people were saying that's him that's running through the streets, and then the shot where she ignites her saber as the guy's like sliding by the table.
That's him.
It's not the same hair. I watched it a couple times. I was like, I don't think that's the same person.
It's cool how she fucking glides over though and ignites her saber. She looks so badass. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited for that.
She does.
We see the that Dayu, I guess, is the planet, which is they said it's kind of like a Hong Kong type setting.
Right.
It looks like that unnamed Inquisitor is there on that planet looking for somebody, and that's where you see Kenobi with the hood on.
Well, that's
checking it
Reva.
out.
Reva's on the rooftop. She's
Reva's on the rooftop, but then later when they're on the ground and they show Obi-Wan kind of hiding in the shadows a little bit, and checking out what's going on.
Yeah, it's like the tracking shot. Yeah.
I think you think he keeps that thing on him with the lightsaber still, or no?
I mean, I don't think he's going to leave it in the damn cave, but it definitely is weird that he, like that shot where they show the camera pan back and it's the Solo shot, right? It looks like his blaster, he's got it out by the hip and she's down at the far end of the alley. And then comes shots and some green alien birds fly out like, it's the Dua pigeons.
Let me interject there. I pulled this from the mall bag because it was tied so much to this moment. This was an email we got from Chris Meyer. He said, do you think that was a shot of Han Solo and his blaster in the new Kenobi trailer? If so, what role do you think he would play in the storyline of the series? Would they bring back Alden Ehrenreich for it, or would they do that digital imaging thing like they did for young Luke to make it look like the original Han? So first of all, do you think it's Han Solo, or do you think it's Ben wielding a blaster?
I think it's Ben wielding a blaster because they show a shot on the rooftop where they're shooting each other, and it looks like it's Ben behind an air conditioner shooting a gun.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big thing for me. I don't want to see Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan with a blaster.
Well, he's trying to hide the fact that he's a Jedi.
I get it.
Can't fight with the saber.
Yeah.
And it plays into his whole not as clumsy as a blaster, all that. You're going to get some sort of commentary on that.
So uncivilized as he throws it
Yes.
down, right? Isn't that what his line
So
was?
you may see some nugget that's tied to that point of view from him.
Like, how could he be a Jedi if he's shooting a blaster? You know.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, that was my first thought. I think you called it out after I'd only seen the trailer once and said, "Did you see that gun?" And then I looked at it, I was like,
immediately.
"Holy shit, it looks like Solo's gun."
Yeah.
And I mean, the timeline, he'd be like early 20s right now.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't
And it's
be
on
out
a
of
different planet. So what's he doing there? I mean, but I just like that. Almost feels like they're shoehorning something in. Then, right?
setting up the future Solo series. Come on.
Okay, I'm for that.
You hear that, Chris? You motherfucker.
Thanks
So
for being on
hot.
our show, by the way.
Oh, that's right. No, that's next week. I forgot our recording schedule.
We
Next
just feel
week
like
you'll hear
it's
why.
gonna go bad. Yeah.
Next week you'll hear why.
Just
I'm mad.
premonitions. We're prepping for the interview we're about to have.
And then, well, you also see that shot of that robot who looks kind of cool.
He's got some writing on his collar. I think it says Ned.
Oh, so it's the Ned bot.
I guess so. And he's the one that's got the next shot is
Is it
looks-
him?
Is it the stormtrooper or is it the robot that's got the gun?
Well, it almost looks like a hammer.
Yeah, it looks like a
Okay.
curved. Weird,
Okay.
I don't know.
But
a weapon.
But it's the shot is trying to make you think it's him. But if you look at it closer, it's like, yeah, is it a stormtrooper? Or some people have said, is it a clone trooper? Almost looks like the back of a clone trooper armor.
Okay.
And then they got into the fact that
Yeah.
later when you see the Inquisitor doing his swing and blade thing and asking, where is he? If you look at the back of that guy's head, people are like, that looks like a clone.
Oh, okay. That would make some sense then. That'd be perfect.
So, I mean, is that Commander Cody? Is that Rex? Or is it just some other clone?
and like who really, other than Uncle Owen, right? Who would know where he is or what he's doing? But it is a bald head,
Yeah.
right? Or close to it. It's not.
It's a bald head. It looks like there's something going on in the back. Maybe that's
Yeah.
where the inhibitor chip was.
That could be. They could tie that in and wrap up like the end of the clones too. You know what I mean? They could put that in this series. I mean, that would be a lot to go over. I mean, it wouldn't be something you just do in passing. Like the clones are.
Well, because they're kind of doing that in Bad Batch right now, and this is a few years. This is a few
This is
years.
10
after
years later.
10 years after Bad Batch, because Luke's 10. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot there. They showed us a fucking ton.
Mm-hmm. Like we see that that Imperial ship land, and the new general from Game of Thrones walks out. Looks like she's parking at Pelimoto's place.
And I threw out, I think, to you, is that Ray Sloan, which is a character that becomes a bigger, like an admiral in the Aftermath trilogy as part of the Empire. So I wondered if that might potentially be her, as at a younger age. But
Okay.
let's just throwing that out for fun speculation.
What happened to the girl with the bob cut? The general from Rebels. She had the bob cut. Admiral.
Oh, she
She
did.
was under Thrawn.
She was
She
killed.
died. Okay, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember if she got killed or not.
When she finally defected and they were protecting her, she got shot. Right?
She stayed with the, yeah. She went down with the ship. Let's just say.
Yeah.
the planet, when the planet was going, whatever that thing was going on.
Right. What about the 2 escape pods?
Right. I don't know.
My only theory, and I just thought of it last night when I watched it one more time, was I was like, is it possible maybe that like Kenobi is on some sort of transport trying to go somewhere, comes under attack and has to escape pod off, and that's where he ends up on Dayu? I don't know. I was just thinking of a way that but there's 2 of them. There's 2 pods.
Yes,
Is
there
like, is
is.
it another like one of his homies with him? Or what? It was a real random shot to throw in everything else we saw because nothing else looked like that.
Or those escape pods could be like, let's say we get a cold open and someone's being chased, and this is what brings whoever to Tatooine.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
The escape pods land on Tatooine first,
That's a good
That's
call.
my theory. It's my theory.
and then whoever's hanging came from the pod.
Oh.
It's the Padawan that got Grogu.
Right? Yeah, you've got to. Well, let's not go too far, but I might
Save
consider a
that
Padawan.
for the Kenobi preview.
Yeah.
All right. I'm chomping at the bit.
What else did I have on my list here?
Well, on the list here, we've got Reva hunts down on the rooftops. Low-budget Grand Inquisitor rotates his saber at unknown suspect, and that's where he says, "Where is he?" And we're thinking that might be a clone. And then we've got the Between the Darkness, and then in and defeat, hope survives. I like that. It kind of gives that. Ties it to A New Hope, but also it really kind of adds some like gravity to Obi-Wan's situation right now. He does not look like he's in a. The big thing right now is mental health, and he doesn't look like he's a very happy person.
No.
He's got 2 suns shining down on him, and he's just having a shitty day.
Fucking Tatooine heat, man. I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a pretty terrible spot. Because like you said, he's trying to watch out for Luke, which let's talk about that for just one quick second, is this shot of Luke.
Do you think those are Anakin's goggles, his speed race goggles he's wearing?
I looked, and I don't think they're the same.
Okay.
They're a little different. But it looks like, at first you're thinking, oh, he's like he's wanting to be a pilot, but he does the full shove forward motion almost like a pod racer.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, clearly that's got to be him, because somebody was, I was reading something, they're like, or maybe they're throwing us off and that's not really him. I was like, dude, it's Lars' house. Like, it is the whole setup.
Why is Kenobi watching some other kid?
That would be weird.
I mean, he's not like he is going George McFly here. He's already
500 feet, Ben.
Hiding somewhere watching. Yeah, but
hold on. You said Lars' house. Lars is.
Or sorry, Owen Lars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lars is the last name.
Who was the guy that was Anakin's mom married?
Anakin's mom was never married.
Not
Clegg.
married, but Clegg.
Clegg Lars.
Clegg
That was
Lars.
his name.
Because you keep saying Lars, and I'm like, what the fuck is he
Lars
talking
is the
about?
last name. Sorry, Lars Ulrich, the drummer for Metallica. Piece of shit.
Fucking thanks a lot. Getting LimeWire shut down, dick.
Anyway, so yeah, but he's in a bad spot because he's trying to watch out for Luke. He's trying to lay low, can't reveal himself in any manner. I mean, he's just fucking trapped, you know?
Yeah.
It's got to be a brutal existence, and it really shows at the beginning. And that's what I think is going to be interesting is I'm sure people will be like, God, that first episode was slow or something like that. But I think they're really going to dig into just how shitty his existence is in that first episode and what he's going through before stuff really kicks into gear.
I think we're going to get a montage of his daily life. Like coffee, out the door, scout through the desert.
Puts on his slippers and shuffles across the cave to the entryway.
Just
Deep
him
sigh.
pissing in the corner of the cave.
Yeah.
Deep sigh before he goes to bed. Forces the light off with his force wave.
Moves the rock like the rock covers the cave like Jesus.
Yeah.
Too much.
It kind of looked like the Jesus cave.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
He
So-
kind of looks like Jesus.
He does.
That dude as well.
Yeah, he does not look great. Doesn't look like he's in shape either, frankly.
Do you think whoever is if it is someone that comes to Tatooine, are they bringing a message from Leia or from someone? Because it would tie in because the message from Leia is "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope." So she's met him before.
No, because she goes off into say you served my father in the Clone Wars or something, right? And now I ask for that
Okay,
service
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So she's like, she's been told of him. She's been educated on him, which seems like almost like a diplomatic education, like a
Sure.
history.
Okay,
of,
I could buy that.
Here's a history of the battles, and
Or
this
maybe
is who,
she's just like, I was a kid. You don't remember me, but that part didn't make it into the message.
yeah.
Well, no, but I think you could say that. Like, I think she could have some memories of him as a kid, and so she's just like, yeah, hey, you served my dad. Like, remember me? Like, literally, like.
And
you know,
also,
you might
she
not
would
remember.
she would have to have some knowledge of his existence, right? Where everyone else thinks he's dead, because she specifically sends a fucking message to a planet for him. You know,
Right.
so
Well, Bail Organa knows about him, obviously, so she got it from there, I think, right? Like,
Yeah.
They didn't do the whole, I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to be, you don't tell me where you're going to be for safety in case they torture it out of us type of a thing.
Right.
Plausible deniability, right? So,
Yeah. She looked through the browsing history of her father and was like, Obi-Wan. That's weird.
and also they're not hunting down the children.
she went into the phone book
They're
and she
hunting
put
down-
it together. I told you, like last episode, she put it together.
Why hasn't
Bam.
anybody thought of this?
It's so obvious. Hiding in plain sight. Oh.
Oh, by the way, at the end, you do get that kind of after it says "Hope survives," it shows that shot of Obi-Wan, and then you get that as it goes to the title card, which was cool. I thought it was also kind of cool how they did the Disney Plus little thing with the
I
saber.
loved that.
That was
yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that was really
nice.
cool. That shot though of that last shot of him looks like that's where he makes the decision.
Yeah,
You know, he's like, "Fuck, I gotta go do
gotta
something."
do this. Gotta do this
Yep.
shit. Do you think that we will get another full trailer, or do you think we're just going to get the week and a half build up like they did for Book of Boba, where they just show us like tiny little snippets?
May
teasers?
4th there'll be a trailer.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
That's it. We're done. We covered the trailer. 5 times longer than the trailer was. You're welcome.
At least.
All your content needs.
Stay with us next week or the week after when we have another episode come out. So until then, thank you for listening. And until next time,
Never tell us the odds.
In our experience, there's no such thing as luck.
we have spoken.
Whoa.